enlisted in the Continental Army. But I always tell my students, just because you give them a title, I say, I could proclaim myself the commander-in-chief of the San Jacinto College Army, and you guys are in the Army. You're my soldiers now, but that doesn't make you automatically a better soldier, does it? And they go, no. So just there's no magic wand that you can wave and turn these guys into a great army. Washington's going to have a huge task ahead of him.
Right. I would say one other thing there with titles. We mentioned this in the Civil War series as well, when we have these battlefield commissions and brevet officers. Remember, this is in the 18th century when you have Habsburg dynasties and meaningless titles. The best corollary I can think of this, when titles are just flowing like wine to people who may or may not deserve it. Go to a college campus and go to administrators. Oh, I am the vice dean of undersecretary faculty of sustainability. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, I take out the recycling cans. So,
yeah, I know.
But I understand you have a story about Washington as father of the American Mule. So I'm very curious about this.
Yeah, this is a great. I was just listening to this today. I'm currently listening to the not the autobiography, but the biography of Washington by Ron Chernow, and this is an amazing biography. It won the Pulitzer Prize in 2010, and it's considered, I think, pretty unanimously by most people today to be the definitive one-volume biography of Washington that's out there today. Real pleasure to listen to. Let me read a little passage from there. So listener, just stick around for a few more minutes. You're going to love this. So he's talking about Washington. And he says, perhaps nothing better illustrated Washington's pioneering farm work than his development of the American mule, a hardy animal representing a cross between a male donkey, also called a jack, and a female horse. Mules were less fragile than horses, but more docile than donkeys and cheap to maintain. Before Washington championed these creatures, they had hardly existed in the country. He started breeding them when he received a gray jack from the King of Spain, called this, by the way, this happens after the war, so I'm out of sequence here. But anyway, work with me. Called Royal Gift, and a black jack called Knight of Malta from Lafayette. Royal Gift was big and lumbering and lacking in animal spark, whereas Knight of Malta was small but lusty. Washington cunningly bred the two animals and ended up with a jack known as Compound that merged the size of Royal Gift with the feisty nature of Knight and Malta. After some difficulties, the resulting donkeys settled down and performed their duties, producing 57 mules at Mount Vernon by century's end and enabling Washington to realize his hope to secure a race of extraordinary goodness that will stock the country. So in addition to his better-known title of Father of his Country, Washington is also revered in certain circles as the father of the American mule. Isn't that great?
Wow.
He's a man of many talents, great general, great president, but also the father of the American mule. Who would have known?
Mules are sterile, so you have to keep stoking the fires of mule reproduction to keep them supplied. So I don't know if he inspired all of this breeding going through the colonies, but if you can inspire people to make mules, that's leadership right there. I am impressed. I'm impressed in a way I never would have been before. All right. Well, great. That is our overview of Bunker Hill. And in the next episode, we're going to be coming to our third battle, Key Battle 3, the Quebec Campaign and Knox's Cannon Run. See you there. Okay, so that is all for today. That's today's episode. Thank you for joining me. As always, I want to thank the Knowlton's Rangers, especially our spy masters, Todd Warren, Jake Harrington, Beverly Engel, Bill Ivey, Joyce Norman, Tyler from Colorado, Josh Reddick, Baron Fraser, Chris from Maine, Carl from Norway, Moondoggy from Ohio, Rick Knowlton, Vic and Irene, Mike from New York, Michelle, and Marlene. I'll explain what that is in a second. If you like the show and want to help it grow, there are 4 easy ways for you to do it. 1, like and subscribe to the show on the podcast player of your choice. This helps spread the word about the show. 2, join our Facebook group. Here we can keep the discussion going about new episodes, and you can talk about what you like and didn't like. And you can find this group if you just search for History Unplugged on Facebook. 3, we have an online store with t-shirts, phone covers, and other accessories featuring awesomely bad history puns that were crowdsourced by you, the audience. And you can find that if you go to TeePublic, historypublic.com and look for History Unplugged, or you just go to historyonthenet.com and look for our store there. 4, and this is really the best way to dive deep with History Unplugged, and that's to become one of the Knowlton's Rangers. If you know your American history, you know the Knowlton's Rangers were an elite spy and reconnaissance group in the American Revolutionary War, but it's also the name of the membership program of History Unplugged. You can join at 3 levels. If you join at the level of Scout, you can hear all the episodes of History Unplugged completely ad-free and get early access to new episodes, at least a week early. If you join at the Intelligence Officer level, you get special bonus episodes, like a 10-part series on the World War II hero Audie Murphy, a multi-part series called Ottoman Lives about different people in the Ottoman Empire, and a series called Rendezvous with Death that looks at biographical profiles of Americans who went to fight in World War I before America entered the war. The last level is Spy Master, where you get all that stuff, but you also get 3 hardcover history books, Forging a President, How the Wild West Created Teddy Roosevelt, Race to the Top of the World, Richard Byrd and the First Flight to the North Pole, and The Last Fighter Pilot, the true story of the final combat mission of World War II. Another bonus is, you can choose a history topic for me to focus on for an entire episode that can go up to an hour, and I'll answer whatever question you have for me, and you get a shout out at the end of each episode. If you want to learn how to become a member of the Knowlton's Rangers, go to patreon.com/unplugged. That's patreon.com/unplugged. All right, well, that is all for my spiel. Thanks for listening to the History Unplugged podcast, from ancient Greece to the Cold War and everything else in between. See you next time.